Man, it's a Friday. Oh, hell yeah. And you know what? Man, I see some chat. I see some people awesome in the chat. Oh, hold on. Hi, just sure I clicked on the link. Or yes. Oh, I still hear yes.
Is this? That's not mine.
Our guest is actually in the chat. So Neo Matrix, I'm gonna copy my StreamYard and I'll put it right here in the chat. And you could just click it from here. There you go. So our guest is actually in the chat because I sent him the link to show it itself, but not the actual link to get on. That was my bad. So that was my bad. Haska Sun's here. Yo, Cinderella. Yeah, right. I love that intro. Good band. Great band. Great, fantastic band.
Friday.
Webster, because I was actually Tomacon's here. I was actually over on the Black Sheep because their show's at 11. So while I was getting ready, cooking upstairs, and getting stuff ready for your son to come here, I was just
nice.
So
yeah. Don't mind me. I'm getting my what the fuck news set up right here. You just keep talking.
No, not a problem at all. Not a problem. So I'm just trying to get the invite ready. I'll also send it to them on Instagram because that's how we were talking. So you guys might think, man, he's not prepared. Well, I am prepared. I'm not prepared, but we got a military guy coming over, so I had to get some things going. And I'm actually at this time I'm actually cooking a turkey.
You're cooking a turkey. How come you're not cooking haggis or a pheasant?
So Neo Matrixology, I actually just sent you also the link through Instagram. So that should work. This is the link to join the show. So I actually when we get to it, I actually have some cool article about 15. It's called 15 Irrefutable Reasons Why We Might Be Living in a Simulation.
Oh, nice.
So when a guest comes on, we're going to run through these 15 and we'll kind of get your guys' opinion, their opinion on what it's saying, on why we're living in a matrix. Maybe we are, maybe we're not. I don't know. Tomicon had a dream last night. I was sitting in my car wearing all black leather thinking, man, if anyone sees me, they're going to tell me I fell out of the Matrix.
As long as he's wearing the round sunglasses. If he's wearing the square ones, then he's on the bad side.
Oh, all he has to do is go. If anybody asks him why you wearing the leather, dream or not, say, hey, my good friend from Judas Priest is actually doing a private show. They can't do a full known show because of the pandemic, but they're doing a private show, so I'm just dressing up for the show.
Yeah, so he's gonna. Are you saying that he's dressing up to go meet Judas Priest and all their fans together in their all leather outfits?
Yes, I do wear round sunglasses. Okay, it got my sunglasses right here. So that's cool. I was actually over. We'll get into the Matrix stuff. I was actually over on the Matrix, not the Matrix. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Black Researcher, and. Hey, welcome, Neo Matrixology. How's it going?
Very cool.
Check 1, 2. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Excellent.
Perfect. Guys, we have a special guest. Neo Matrixology is on with us, and we're going to, dive into the Matrix stuff. And let me, first of all, what's going on with you guys?
The East Coast is under snow, right?
Oh yeah, man. I'm up in the Northeast, kind of like East PA. So that's like the base. And so we got I want to say 18 inches.
God damn.
No, it snowed. That happened.
Yeah, no, that's bad up there. That's hurt us real bad. The power's off. The news likes to build things up and they show cars smashing into each other, people on the streets shoveling and buildings crashing in with snow. I'm like, wow. Now is that true or is it them just building it up? That's what I kept thinking to myself.
that's a great point. Television is about ratings, so they're going to show you, the most dramatic shot they can find. Now, where I am, fortunately, we didn't lose power, but there was a lot of hype building up into it, talking about the high winds. It was expected to lose power. My area specifically didn't. I don't want to disparage anybody who did lose power because I'm sure that happened in some places. But yeah, there was just like a lot of shoveling, nothing that we haven't seen before. I mean, last year we got lucky. I feel like there wasn't this much big snowstorms last winter, but I mean, it's still the Northeast. Like, it snows. That's not abnormal.
Okay, yes, what I thought. That's what I wanted. That's what I wanted to hear. Thank you.
It's not like snowing in Atlanta where they get 2 inches and nobody knows what to do. You know what I mean?
More people joined us. We got good old Paranormal Underworld. I was actually in their chat last night. I always come in their chat when they're doing the show with Vel, the Vel, the Paranormal. I always get in, but somehow I get in at the last 15 minutes of the show, and I feel bad that I didn't get there from the beginning. But, we're also busy. Scott Morin's here. Suzanne Cassie was over on the Black Sheep channel that was just on. And, guys, I just put in Neomatrixology YouTube site on there. I'm going to share the screen just to show you guys what's on their channel so everybody kind of knows. Let me get the bottom bar. So this got tons of great videos. You can see here. I've got some beautiful women on some of their covers too. I mean, look at this last one. Look at her. That's
that's Ellen Hallman. We don't know what role she's playing in The Matrix 4, but she's definitely an actress who has admitted to having filmed in Berlin. Actually, in that interview, she admitted to being at both San Francisco and Berlin shoots. So I'm guessing she's going to have a sizable role in this thing.
Nice.
Yeah, and we're going to get into the idea of living in a simulation and how the movie The Matrix using it, and how maybe you have thoughts on how they even doing a Matrix 4. I mean,
before you get into that, first I want to thank you guys for having me. I totally appreciate you guys having me on your show. I know you've seen me in the comments before checking your show out, and just wanted to thank you for that. And also, I heard you mention that theory about the different glasses, right? You got the rectangular glasses for the bad guys.
You're a nerd.
So yeah, boy, if it's Matrix, I have come across it. But my question that I then counter to you is, does that mean APOC was a spy?
Right. Okay. Good question. you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. The good guys. There's no such thing as good guys in anything anymore. But the guys with the round sunglasses, and then the guys with the square sunglasses, and you might want to explain it to them what we mean by that joke. I know it. Right now we're having an inside laugh. That's what it is.
So there's a lot of online theories about the Matrix, and that's one of the things I've always loved about the franchise is that it provokes that level and that kind of thinking, that questioning things. I've always been attracted to that. But yeah, so there's a theory online that says if you look closely, all the agents are wearing rectangular or square shaped glasses, and everybody on the Nebuchadnezzar or from Zion, when they're in the Matrix, they're wearing round-shaped glasses, like circular glasses. And most notably, they're really focusing on Morpheus with the glasses that don't have the wire, and Smith, who has, obviously, the rectangular glasses. But my thing is, if you look at APOC's glasses, one of the guys from the original Nebuchadnezzar, the original Matrix crew, if you look at his glasses, they are a hybrid. They're more rectangular in shape, but they have a little bit of curve to it. So it's not round, but it's not rectangular. So that's what I'm saying. In that theory, where does APOC fall on the line? Is he in the middle? Is he in this gray area? Is he a spy? Is he, not necessarily completely good? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, good, because
he dies before you get to ask him any real question. But
these are medical. I didn't have a choice. These are the Veterans Administration's choice for my glasses. So I am not Agent Smith's side.
That's good to know.
I want to make sure that was clear. I don't know about Eric though. I don't know. His is kind of a combo of round and square. I'm not sure what he's got.
They are technically prescription, but they're because they say I have California eyes, where I have 20/20 eyes, but it helps with the glare. You say when you live in California, the sun burns a layer off your eyes. I don't know about that. I don't know if that's true or not. So it's kind of cool. By doing this, I get my glasses free. Yeah, I
was just making a joke.
They're not really prescription in a way.
Well, I take mine off and I see I see dead people, but also I see I also see aliens. So I have to make sure I wear these because I'm following that they live concept. Oh, you're an alien. Yeah, now you're not an alien no more. Okay, cool. Makes it easier.
They Live is definitely like one of the most underrated 80s movies ever. We were talking about great fight sequences the other night, and I'm like, everybody talks about Matrix, and that's great, but nothing lives up to the brawl in They Live. I mean, that's probably the best fight in cinematic history.
Yeah, the mix of wrestling and
Roddy Rod Piper, baby.
and apparently John Carpenter basically told him, do what you want to do what you got to do, just make it real, make it good, and they did.
The number one
10 straight minutes.
It's number 2 on my fight list. So the number 1 fight is still Family Guy when he fights the chicken. It's the number 1 fight sequence ever put together. Ever. If you guys watch Family Guy, he fights the chicken in certain, and it goes on for like, I think they've even had like a 15-minute long fight scene. Like they just the whole damn cartoon is just fighting a chicken.
Yeah, so, the conversation we were having was talking about live action. So I'll give you Family Guy, but also I wanted to say to Gypsy Road, nice sweatshirt. I see that Vader over there.
Damn straight.
Yeah, baby.
Damn straight. Got Vader underneath. It's just a Vader.
Nice.
This is like a kind of a Indian style shapes.
That's cool.
The
mine is this one. I've got a plant, a special plant. It's
right.
Very special.
Yeah, it's a YouTube friendly plant.
Yes, it's a YouTube family. I was going to say a type of tea for some people, so you could see the Matrix with it. Once you have this tea, you can see the Matrix. Yes.
Actually, you guys are talking about the best fights. Because of the fights, the fightings in the Matrix and all that. Bob, the story. I don't know if you know the whole full story. Keanu Reeves wasn't the first choice for the Matrix.
I know that's
actually they wanted.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of people they went to.
The directors, there's 2 directors, and when they went over to pitch it, they went to pitch the scene to Will Smith, because I guess the directors at that time came from TV, so they didn't really have like a big movie. And Will Smith was saying when they were trying to explain how they're gonna do the fight scenes where a guy's floating in the air doing that kick, and Will Smith saying, "What the fuck? What? Who are these 2 guys?" So of course the story, he passed on the movie because he didn't like the pitch, and he went and did that stupid Wild Wild West.
I liked it.
That was a big hit. So the way in the fighting scenes, but now of course when he saw the movie, he was like, "Holy shit, that's what they meant,"
Yeah, no, I've heard Brad Pitt turned it down. I've heard they approached, I believe, Sandra Bullock. I mean, they were kind of all over the place with who they thought might play Neo before actually settling in on Keanu Reeves. But obviously, Keanu Reeves did a great job with that role. I can't really envision any of those other actors being in that spot now that we have the classic that we do.
Yeah, and Will Smith even said that if he would have took the part, the movie would not have been the same, because the directors, they already had planned that they wanted Morpheus. If Will Smith was going to be in it, Morpheus was going to be a white guy.
In fact, I believe more specifically, if Will Smith was going to be Neo, Val Kilmer would have played Morpheus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Val Kilmer was, and I remember Will Smith was saying he mentioned Val Kilmer, and he was like, Val Kilmer,
right?
But because he didn't take the role, they used Neo. They wanted a black and a white because of they wanted to go.
They wanted to balance a certain
balance it.
Yin yang to it. Right?
It was a blessing that Will Smith turned it down, because we might not have had
that Lawrence Fishburne performance. Yeah, man.
The way he played Morpheus, I mean, he kind of made the movie. Now, the original plot for Matrix 4 was going to be a prequel with more about Morpheus, but they decided that the way that everything is going, they want a sequel, because everything has a sequel now. Bill and Ted had a sequel, Which
I have a question though. Don't go too far, too fast. I need to ask him this question. Now, this is a rumor. I haven't not verified this, and he might know this. Did Nicolas Cage was he also up for the running? I heard Nicolas Cage.
His name was in the pot of the original people approached to play Morpheus. Yes, that
actually happened. Well, guys, that's not really a hard stretch because when they making a movie, they have a role. They have like 20 people written down.
Yeah, but Nicolas Cage, man, and I'm like, no way.
Remember, Nicolas Cage was in production to be the next Superman.
Yeah.
Before Superman Returns back in 2009, whenever they made, or 2004 when they made Superman Return. Remember, Tim Burton was actually in production with Nicolas Cage as Superman. There's footage of Nicolas Cage with the Superman suit with the long hair.
But Nicolas Cage is Morpheus. That's what I was like, huh? Someone told me, and I said, no. I will ask an expert online tonight if Nicolas Cage was even mentioned in any list. But according to what he says, I guess Nicolas
for
Cage
for Neo.
For Neo. Shit!
He was on that list.
Now Nicolas Cage is actually having a new series come out on Netflix.
Really?
Yeah, and it's actually, but it might be a cool little series. The series is about the history of the bad words, bad language.
Oh,
yes,
cool.
Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna call it, but he's gonna go in the history of the word fuck, shit, asshole, whatever. Yeah, I'm serious. They're doing a show on Netflix about these words, on the history, on how these words got developed.
That's cool though. And it's Nicolas Cage.
I've seen him do that.
Very cool. Okay, I got that out of the way. I had to ask. I knew he was an expert. He would be the one. So everyone knows out there that Nicolas Cage was in the running for Neo. So I'm okay. Good.
Oh,
I can sleep tonight.
I gotta where is it? I gotta show this picture. To Bob because Bob, you know about airplanes, right?
Oh yeah. Well, you know what I know.
Airplanes have changed. You know, I watched it. I saw it today on an airplane, the 737, and how different than this plane looks now.
Yeah.
I want to show you this picture. It kind of blew me away. Like, holy shit! That's what it looks like now? That's crazy. Here we go.
God. What is it? What is it?
Right there.
Oh, shut up. What is that, dude? By the way. Okay.
Oliver was watching South Park, and I never saw this episode. I don't know how I didn't see this. Mr. Pooh made a plane for the characters called on the 737 plane. It was actually, he said the word 737. So I go, wow, that plane changed. I thought Bob might like it.
Yeah, it changed just a little bit. Just a little bit. The engines are really pushed out there. Yeah, that's completely changed. I will have to agree. That's called a Mandela effect right there. Definitely a Mandela effect. And that helicopter is definitely, I've never seen that before. That is definitely a Mandela effect.
So I've got a theory about the question that you asked earlier about the original plan for the Matrix 4. Now I sent you in the StreamYard chat. I sent you a link to the video there. I actually went back. This is like maybe within my first like 10 or 15 videos, because the Matrix 4 got announced. Like, it was weird because I started the channel just because, you know, I like the Matrix. I'm a big fan. I saw, you know, an opportunity for the niche there because, you know, there's Star Wars channels, a lot of those, but there weren't, I didn't feel like a lot of Matrix channels like focused on the lore and what we had to work with. So I'm like, all right, let me put together what I know and make these videos. And then the Matrix 4 was announced like a month later. I was like, okay, that's weird. So I guess I really got to keep running with this, right? So I tracked down every tweet, every article, like from when the Matrix 4 rumors first started. And this goes back to, I want to believe, like 2013 is when you first got a flicker that there might be a Matrix 4. And right. So what you're talking about, when you're talking about the prequel, the Young Morpheus, okay, that started with the Zach Penn script. Okay. So he wrote a Matrix 4 script before Ready Player One came out. All right. And that is the chain of rumors that had Michael B. Jordan's name in the conversation. And everybody said, all right, this is going to be the young Morpheus story. Then last August 2019, that's when Lana Wachowski announced that she's making a Matrix 4. So when all that happened, Zach Penn, the writer of Ready Player One, he actually got on Twitter and said, okay, guys, I just want to clear this up. There are two different scripts in the works at Warner. There's my script and the Lana script. The Matrix 4 that we're going to see right now is the Lana script. And he's like, you know, I wish her the best of luck and all that good positive stuff. My script is the other script, and it's, quote, not a reboot. He said it's not a reboot, but he didn't say it wasn't a prequel.
Wow.
So I believe that the Young Morpheus rumor is the Zach Penn script, and the Lana Wachowski script is what we're going to see next Christmas.
My theory is they're going to do a prequel, but it's not going to be in a movie because everything's going to streaming services. They're probably going to do a prequel or a series on whatever platform. Who owns it? Is it Time Warner who owns? Yeah, Time Warner owns Matrix.
Right,
So,
it's Village Roadshow.
Is it Roadshow and
they're partnered, Warner and Village Roadshow. Yeah.
So I bet you they're gonna do a prequel for a series because that's the way everything is going now for streaming wars and all that. But let me ask you a question, because we actually had one of our best fun guests that comes on the show is actually he's called The Matrix Unveiled. And
in fact, I think one of your early conversations with him was the first video I watched with you guys.
Wow. And I'm gonna ask you, when watching the movies, that's where a lot of people even woke up to the idea of if we're really living in a matrix from the movie Matrix, because a lot of people never even heard the word before, which on this channel myself, I learned that the word matrix was actually in the Bible, which I didn't know. So the word matrix is not a new word, but of course the movie helped make the word even more popular about living in a simulation and all that. In your opinion, and this show is all about opinions. We all respect everybody's opinions. Nobody gets bashed about if you think it's real or not. Do you think maybe there's a possibility, in your opinion, that maybe we are living in a simulation?
Oh, of course, anything is possible. And I am definitely curious to hear the list that you said you have prepared, this list of 15 irrefutable simulation reasons. But if you're going to ask me if I have to like pick a side, red or blue, no, I technically am not a simulation theorist. But I'd say that if you look at what's the guy's name? The guy who started the trilemma, it's like Nick Bostrom or something like that. I feel like a lot of the stuff that we hear today in terms of the popularity of the argument focuses on the third part of the argument. Like there's 3 different parts, and the first 2 say that we're not in a simulation, and then the third says that we are. And it's basically saying it has to be one of these 3 things. So I'm not a statistician, but from where I'm sitting, that means there's a 33% chance that we're in a simulation.
33%.
Okay, that's fair. I feel like that's
fair.
possible.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all the above for me. I mean, you could have, if you can manipulate matter, it's like Star Trek on the holograms. I mean, these guys are getting punched in the face and feeling it. So there's actual matter hitting you, vibrating particles are punching you in the face. Still be a matrix. Still could be simulation. Yeah. Again, theoretically, we always put it out.
I don't think we're batteries. I don't think we're living in a simulation, but I look at the Matrix as an advanced AI that's getting stronger in every day, where we might not be living in a simulation, but the AI is slowly taking over.
And I'm sorry?
Or it's already taking over. I don't know, but
Skynet went live.
More as an AI versus we're already batteries. We're in the computer simulation now. We're not really here, but I believe that AI is what the Matrix really is, and it's getting stronger.
Well, that's what I loved about. Have you guys seen the Animatrix? I don't want to spoil anything for you.
No, I have. No, I want to, but I haven't watched the cartoon version. You talking about the cartoon version?
Second Renaissance. You should definitely watch it.
Yeah, I never actually watched it through. I know the cartoon does a better explanation on what the Matrix is for the movies.
Well, and that's one of the things that Zach Penn said in his tweet. He said that he wouldn't do a reboot because the Animatrix and the comics have already set that stage, and he wouldn't want to disrespect, the fans like that, right? But on my channel, there's a YouTube Animatrix playlist, and that episode is actually, somebody has it on their YouTube channel. So on my playlist, the ones that you can watch completely for free are actually in that playlist already, so you can check that out. And actually, like when it first came out, before they released the movie, the second Renaissance episodes were on the Warner site, the whatisthematrix.com, for free. So I'm guessing that's why they're not copyright striking whoever has it up. I don't know. I'm not hosting it just because I'm playing it safe, But like I said, in that playlist, you can watch it. So I definitely recommend that you guys watch the Second Renaissance Part 1 and Part 2, because those are very important to the setup of the Matrix universe.
Yeah. Why, if I want to play somebody else's video, on my channel, I usually take the video and I created other channels and I kind of drop it on there just to see if there's some kind of strike or
like a test run. Yeah, that's smart.
Because like music, mostly with music, you don't get a strike from the music. You get that monetization where they get the money, which I don't make money, so I don't care. Like Bob, now, even that's tricky because on Wednesday I played a video from Bob, and he never got a monetization strike. I mean, it's not a strike, but a monetization.
No.
For his playing this music. But I played his video here in America because Bob is in the UK. So everybody knows Bob's in England. Okay. Yeah. So I played that video here. I didn't get a strike, but I got a monetization warning that the money's going whatever. So sometimes even a strike might not get it here, but your video could be banned from some other countries that has certain rights to certain videos. So
what was the name of that? I've still got to write it down. What's the name of that? The Matrix, the anime. What's the name of those 2 episodes?
The Animatrix is the overall anime. The 2 episodes, it's the Second Renaissance Part 1 and 2.
Okay. Second. Okay. Renaissance Part 1 and 2. Okay. Got it.
Oz equals Lucas equals Lucifer. Okay.
All right. Watch that. I'm going to watch that probably tonight.
Actually, Lucifer is a pretty good show. Watch it on
the episodes are only maybe 10 minutes long. They're not long at all.
Perfect. Cool. I'm going to watch that. Yeah, I like it. I love it when people recommend something. Like if we're on the show and somebody's like passionate, like this is your thing. So if you recommend it, it's going to be good. So I'm saying people recommend that. Yeah.
Let's do this.
Yeah, no, it's one of those things where like I said, if you want to know, we're talking about prequel or how the Matrix came about. Like this is the Wachowskis telling that story, so it's already there. Like I know a lot of people make up theories, but I'm like, they kind of already answered it. It's just that a lot of people didn't see the Animatrix because it wasn't advertised at all. Like if you're a Matrix fan, don't feel bad that you don't know or haven't seen the Animatrix. Like they basically just like threw it out there. It didn't have any like big theatrical trailer. I mean, there was literally no advertising for the thing.
I know, and make it clear. Everybody at the sidebar, people that are watching. One of the questions I had, and I know it was confusing for me too, because I didn't know this, and this is not I'm not disrespecting anybody's personal lifestyle, but when he was talking about Lana, I was lost. I go, they had a change. They're Lana and Lily now. The brothers actually. So could you talk about that just for a second so people understand? Because some people said the Wachowski brothers. I'm like, yeah, and that's how I wrote it down. And I have all the, but then again, I put in parentheses. I made sure someone said, but make sure when you say it, they've changed. I go, oh, I didn't know that.
And like you said, I mean, I only know certain. I mean, all I know is that the change has happened for both of them. So like I said, it's Lana and Lily now. They're now the Wachowski sisters. I'm not a pronoun professional. Like I don't know all the rules. You know what I mean?
Same with me. I just want to make sure
my best to learn new things, basically.
I just want to put the disclaimer, guys. I didn't know. We're not insulting anybody's whatever. So we're using their new names. We're going to use it appropriately. So if that's not your thing, whatever. But that's how I'm gonna refer to them as Lana and Lily. So I'm letting everyone know right now. That's their thing. So that's. But
yeah, if I'm correct, I believe Lana made the transition first.
Okay.
And Lily was more recently.
Yeah, we had a brother that did it. Eric and I had our oldest brother transition, so that's why we're sensitive to it.
Yeah.
So we're okay. We're okay. That's why I want to make sure
we've seen it firsthand.
Yeah, we've seen it firsthand. So we're like, we don't want to make sure we don't insult anybody.
Yeah, I don't want to offend anybody. Like you said, I just try to learn new things. In certain things, I will be ignorant. I will admit that. You know what I mean? Like I don't know everything. But
our brother went from seriously wearing Indiana Jones, looking like Harrison Ford of Indiana Jones, to wearing a dress. I mean, it's just complete. Remember, he was like dressing like a mountain man. Then he went complete. Hey, we don't care. But what we're gonna do, guys? What we're gonna do today, guys? I got that 15 list. I'm gonna have it up here. I'm gonna skip Grandpa's World story because we got a guest on. We'll do Grandpa's World story Monday, one of his alien stories, which we always love his alien stories. So we'll do Grandpa's World. So we'll get right to the list. And like I said, and I put the link of this list actually in the chat if somebody else wants to read it later. And I'm not going to scroll up because I want to go from 15 to number 1. Because number 1 on this list was like, holy shit. I'm like, wow, this is number 1. It's kind of what a lot of people say our show is kind of based around. I'm not saying it is, but a lot of people put our show, what was actually on the list, as number 1. So it's kind of very interesting. So let's just get right into it. So number 15, like I said, it's called 15 Irrefutable Reasons Why We Might Be Living in a Simulation. So like I said, I'm not saying we are living in a simulation. This is just 15 on why we might. So number 15, Yanny versus Laurel. Remember in 2015 when the world flipped out because we all looked up at same photo and some of us saw a blue dress while others saw a gold dress, or the Yanny Laurel fiasco in 2018. There was also the less explosive blue gold white flip-flop debate of 2016. Say what you will about pitch and volume of the color saturation. These controversies made one other thing. Each of us live in our own world. Oh, first of all, actually, I don't even know who the fuck Yanny and Laurel is with these dresses. Does this mean anything to you guys?
Yeah.
Look up Google, see if there's pictures of this dress.
I don't remember this moment in pop culture, so you guys have to enlighten me on this one.
Yeah, there's a dress out there that is an optical illusion. Well, I mean, if you're talking about the dress, and from how your mind interprets colors, one person will see one color of this dress, the other person will see another color of this dress.
Is it like the Mustang where the sunlight hits it one way it's purple and then it hits another way it's green?
That's how I think about it. Correct.
These are the pictures here. I'm guessing right here. Blue and right here.
It's the dress that changes colors, and then there's that Lana and Laurel. Lana and Laurel. I guess Yana and Laurel.
Okay.
There's a word to be said, and then some people will hear Yana, and there's one person will hear Laurel. Two different words. You'll hear it differently each time. Or one person will hear this, another will hear this. Same with the dress. One person will see it this way, this color. One person will see it that color. It's an optical illusion.
Okay. Now, I'm playing dumb here because I am dumb on this. Who the fuck is Yanny and Laurel? I mean, who is?
No, it's not nobody. It's nobody in particular. It's just a set of words.
Okay. It's
how your mind perceives it's a brain trick. It's a brain trick.
Right, like the brain game stuff, yeah.
Yeah, the brain game stuff. Yeah, they were doing it on like you said, it was a big deal on YouTube. And which word did you hear? Did you hear Yana or Laurel? I heard Laurel. Why could have swore I heard Yana?
Okay. It's weird. This is why we're doing the list, because I didn't know about this one. Now, here's number 14. We're already good at making simulations, and we're getting even better. Okay. In 2014, the Harvard Smithsonian, which Bob, you worked in the one in DC, so you might know.
I worked at Smithsonian.
Connected 8,000 computers to create a 350 million light year simulation of our universe and digitally aged over 13 billion years. That sim video game franchise has sold over 125 million copies in the first decade. Shows we're interested in playing with simulations. 2. If and when a future version of humanity find themselves with the ability to create more realistic simulations, it wouldn't be a surprise if they opted to use it. Oh, okay.
Ooh.
I guess
Star Trek.
I guess The Sims is like preparing us in a way that we're playing a simulation to get us ready for the simulation. I guess when the truth comes out, maybe.
I want to snap my fingers and have dancing girls. Where are they at?
Well, my thing with this number 14 here, this is one of the things I think about excuse me, when talking about simulation theory is, okay, like how much processing power would you really need to simulate an entire universe? I mean,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like I could understand simulating the world or even our solar
Yeah.
system or even a galaxy, but the entire universe, I mean, that sounds like you're gonna need a lot of hardware for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, it depends on the size. Now, it's a misconception. I worked at the Aerospace Museum, and I worked for basically a lot of scientists, and people don't think like this. People they don't ever. They're like, oh my god, I didn't think about that. We see each other as a certain size. You look up, you see a building at a certain size. Your whole life, you've consciously judged things on what size they are. Now, we talk about what it would take to power our universe. Well, our universe is what we perceive is in size, based off what we've learned, what the narrative is, what we've learned in school. We don't know how actually big we are. We could be very, very, very small. You know that old concept that we could be the size of a cell compared to
like what's that Independence Day at the end where he's rolling the marble, the aliens rolling the marbles, and the one marble is like our entire universe.
It's an entire universe, and then you have a much, much, much larger universe. So, other words, something else could be powering us up with maybe as small as a battery is the size of something you have in your watch. On our side, you know, if we had a universe like this big, and then our watch battery could charge up that whole universe. So we got to keep in mind in our little mind gum game, you know, that, hey, we might not be very large to somebody else out there.
Goose book cartoon about people living in a micro.
Well, didn't Damon, whatever, Matt Damon? I love the movie.
Oh, upsizing or undersized,
downsizing.
Downsizing.
Yeah, well, they were shrunk down, and they lived in that dollhouse city, where you know they lived at a fraction of the price, you know, because they all lived in a small ass little house, the doll size house. And they lived in
took the money, so he went from like a big house to a small poor house.
Yeah, but that's the concept of size. We don't know how big we really are. We don't know. We honestly don't know compared to another universe, wherever that other universe is.
Oh,
could be much bigger.
Well, let's see what's number 13. We already know what the bricks of our matrix are. Okay. According to simulation believers, we may have already found the pixel-sized building, the block of the universe. The Planck length, the point at which our concepts of gravity and space-time no longer apply. If our world is simulated, the planet link would be equivalent to 1 bit of information or a pixel.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Got that. Silence.
It's like a computer kind of conversation.
Information.
It's almost like 13 could be almost like 14 in some ways. They're just like rewriting it just with the word pixel in it.
Yeah. We don't know. They've got laser technology now that, you know, it looks completely real. I've seen CGI movies that look completely real, and it was unusual to me that the guy in charge of Apple, what's his name again? Steve Jobs, who made that computer company Next, and then also purchased, Eric. We did a show on Howard the Duck, and he purchased. I love that movie. And it was the first movie with all those kick-ass special effects that had never done before.
Lucas company.
After that failed movie, which I love, by the way, that nerds like me loved it. They sold all. Remember, Eric? They sold all those rights at all the Pixar. They sold everything. Steve Jobs bought it to work with that computer company Next, which also worked with CERN.
He's recruited Steve Jobs for this company.
Yeah, and so now all that CGI, super fucking, that was the 80s with that starting of that CGI technology, and this is much later.
The thing is, it all got sold to Disney. Now Disney owns all of it. They own everything.
Yeah, but that CGI technology is you don't know, and they have that fake face now. They got people doing fake video. You can't tell if they're real.
Oh, the deep fake. Yeah, I have a short deep fake where I put Morgan Freeman on the architect.
You did? You got
I mean,
that?
it's choppy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's definitely like it's not like a hardcore expensive.
I was thinking about.
See that?
I was thinking about starting to get into, some deep fakes, Bob, to do some deep fakes, but a lot of states now are coming down hard and making laws against that. I think like in New York, you can't have deep fakes without written permission from the actual person you're using their face.
Well,
and
of course.
YouTube hasn't banned the deep fakes yet, but they're talking about making it almost like a community strike because we're not getting permission to use these deep fakes. So I haven't done it yet because they haven't worked that out yet. But
I did it about a year ago, and the way the language was set up, it's at the time anyway, it seemed like it was more trying to prevent, like political stuff or you trying to use somebody misleading, that kind of thing. So, I figured I was putting an actor while they were acting on another actor.
Yeah,
that wouldn't be such a big deal. I'm gonna knock on wood, because the laws can change whenever they want. But
it's actually the porn world that's actually hurting that because a lot of porn are actually deep faking actresses, actors,
right? Famous people, celebrities, yeah. And that's what the language seemed to be protecting when I read it, when I checked into it.
I mean,
so you did a video. Do you have that video on your video list?
Yeah. So if you
see this,
hold on, I'll see the title of it now. But basically, like if you go to my channel, like there'll be the introduction video, right? But if you come back, that'll be the video that it plays on the profile there.
I want to see it. I want to see it.
I'm gonna get the title for you here. Right, the fake tricks reloaded.
Yeah, I want to see this.
How many months ago did you do this?
I put the URL in the chat, in the private chat.
Oh, you said
you gotta go all the way down. It'll be way down. It'll be way down.
Okay, that makes it easier.
I want to get to the list, but I also want to see this is cool because it's on the subject of deepfake. I want to see somebody just, giving people demonstration. It can be done. You know what I mean? This is all about the Matrix and CGI. And
like here we go. Mine is a very budget version. It's not like the for a living.
Oh yeah. Hold on. I don't have the volume up. I gotta stop. Hold on.
Let's check this out.
Oh, we are right now. And what I'll do is I'll make it even bigger right here, so people can see this, not our.
Let's see this.
Here we go.
That's it.
It look real. I mean, go back.
I am beyond.
Hold on. Start right here. You go. Here we go. Let's do it again. I'll do it in slow motion so we can. Oh, hold on. I'll do it in slower motion so we can see it even slower. Here we go. We go to 0.75. Let me hit play.
Yeah, the flaws are really going to stand out. Slow down.
But that looked real, though. You wouldn't know it.
The idea is, because Morgan Freeman plays God and like Bruce Almighty and the other one, and that's where I got the idea for the crossover.
Yeah. He plays God. He played president in 2 different movies. Yeah.
But just a regular kid, just a kid punching on stuff. They would be like, "Oh, he looks different to me. That's weird." They wouldn't know. Honestly, if you didn't say anything, I would have to stare at it for a little while to figure out. I'm like, hey, wait a minute now. But that's how easy it is. That's it. You're just chilling and you're probably just chilling at your computer and you did it.
Yeah, no, it takes a while to process. And like I said, when the guys who are, doing this professionally, they can make it look really clean.
Big time.
That was like my first try with it. But the software, it's they call it an AI. It's not a sentient being, but the machine basically does all the work for you. You just have to get the right pictures and the right lighting and the right angles. And
there's a channel called Collider, and they do some deep fakes, and they put some money in their deep fakes. I mean, it looks like, oh my god.
The deep fake of Will Smith as Neo was pretty hardcore.
Yeah. So now let's go to number 12 here. Number 12. It makes more sense than Ghost. Okay. Paranormal events are not hauntings or alien encounters, but glitches in the simulation. I heard this one before. This theory is the most explored on Reddit forums like, are we living in a simulation or glitch in the Matrix? Actually, glitch in the Matrix, I'm I'm assigned to that on Reddit, so I see that stuff on Reddit. When users explore big ideas or philosophy funneled into details of the odd or the occult. Actually, I don't need to read the whole thing because we talked about this because we do a lot of paranormal stuff. That some people thought the idea of paranormal, when you see a spirit or ghost, that it's not that you're really seeing a spirit or ghost. You're seeing something from the Matrix, a simulation.
Yeah.
Well, and what I love about this is when I saw Reloaded for the first time, I would have never thought that the Oracle telling Neo that any ghost or any vampire or something you see a program, doing what it's not supposed to do would turn into r/glitch in the Matrix on Reddit. Like it's like its own thing now. But that's where it goes back to, is the Oracle explaining to Neo that anytime you see something crazy, it's explained by an exiled program or a glitch in the Matrix.
Yeah, explain that to people. Explain. I seriously, I know it's easy for you to, if you just say it, it just sounds so simple. But what are they? What are they? They exiled programs? They're obsolete. They were obsolete at one time, or no, they were relevant at one time. Then they became obsolete with time. What is that?
And there's different ways to fall into exile status. I mean, that's the thing. It's kind of like this question that they really did explore more, I would say, in the Matrix Online, because the Merovingian had a much larger role there. But yeah, that's what the Oracle basically tells Neo, is that, exiled programs are programs that still exist in the Matrix, but are no longer supported by the system. So when a program is replaced, right? Like let's say, for example, when the Matrix Reloaded starts and Neo's fighting these guys, he's like, oh, upgrades, right? Well, they're upgraded because Smith was destroyed.
Oh.
Right? Smith was supposed to then go to the source for deletion. He chose not to. By choosing to stay in the Matrix, that makes him in exile.
That's the train station then. That's where they go to the train station.
Here's a good
the train station is part of the exile conversation. However, the train man smuggles exiled programs from the real world into the Matrix and vice versa. So in the case of Smith, he was already a program in the system. So he was already in the Matrix. So he didn't need the train man. All he did was not go to the recycle bin. You see what I mean? He chose not to be deleted.
Let me ask you guys this question. It's a good one in the chat. I actually like that theory. Ghosts are glitches. What would make sense? But why would the glitches happen at night or in the wee hours or an old or old haunted houses?
Good question. Yeah. I still think I'm the silica. I'm no nerd. I still think it's the silica theory, where silica's in your phone. It stores information, X's and O's, ones and zeros, basically. Ones and zeros. Walls made of silica, floors made of silica, substrate ground made of silica could store that information. If you died there, it stores that information.
Let me ask this now. Does it really just happen more at the night? Now, remember, we watch Belle's channel on our channel here. We watch her picking up voices and stuff in the daylight.
Daytime.
Because it's daylight, it's harder to see maybe a ghost versus nighttime. Because nighttime, you see something with energy, but if it's daytime, it might be there, but because there's so much light, you're not really seeing it. So maybe
I've always watched in the daytime. I got messages.
Yeah, maybe it's not really just happening at night. It's easier. It's weird to say that, huh? At nighttime, it's easier to see something. But maybe it's just easier to see ghosts and stuff at night.
Yeah.
Another thing I would just say, just from an energy perspective, most people, most of the population is sleeping at night. So when you're talking about, balancing energy, since most people's energy isn't active, that might be more enticing for a supernatural being to want to move around when there's less, bombarding active energy in that space.
Yeah, like the light switch, like you're in your house and you're going to fire up one thing and you shut off all the power to the house and just fire up the one thing. It's going to get the full brunt of the power.
Right. Here's another good one. French TV series talk about ghost frequencies being another frequency we can't fully perceive.
Yeah, same concept as a ghost in the Matrix.
Yeah,
like you were talking about. Yeah. I mean, it's an obsolete. It's an obsolete. It doesn't have a job anymore, so it's going to hang around. It's the same thing in the Matrix. I would think it's the same thing as those obsolete programs.
Go to number 11. Because we could talk about the ghost one all day. I mean, that's a good one. But number 11, the Goldilocks Zone. Earth exits within the Astraba. Guys, I'm sorry. I'm gonna fuck this word up. So guys, don't. I know we got some trolls out there. Look, Eric's talking like a fifth grader again. So you troll.
You were deaf. Yeah.
Astrobiologist.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, Earth exists with an astrobiologist called Goldilocks Zone, close enough to star that a greenhouse gases can trap heat to keep liquid water, but far enough away from the planet does not become a Venusian hothouse. That we live in such an orbit sweet spot in circumstantial evidence for simulation. If our sim designers wanted us to see, it makes sense that they place us in such a cushy environment.
Yeah, yes, I believe that. Yeah, we, according to the rules of physics, are an anomaly. We're so perfect. We're in that Goldilocks zone with just one moon. Usually now I'm telling people this is the narrative. He's wrong. You know, no, it's the narrative. I worked at the Museum of Flight and Aerospace Museum. Usually there's two suns. It's a sun and a binary sun. Most planets, theoretically, according to the literature, has multiple moons. Now, the Earth has one moon. We have one sun. And we're at a perfect distance mathematically to the sun, according to the narrative. So, yeah, Goldilocks is exactly the term they use. It's perfect. So this way it describes it is we're just too perfect. We're like just perfect. Like that porridge is just right to Goldilocks. I mean, perfect. It makes people scratch their heads in astronomy and physics and stuff.
Now, here's what I'd say. I saw a comment, and I think it's a great comment. Dark Glasses Woody said this one is more proof of intentional creation than specifically proof of simulation. And I'd say that the next point is actually going to get into more about how I feel about it, in that they're equally disprovable. Like we can't really prove either one of those ideas, but that's what I like about the Goldilocks hotspot, because that same argument is used in the designer theory.
Oh yeah, it's used it's easy. It's a 50-50. I mean, it's like it's perfect. It's Goldilocks. The little, it's the perfect porridge. It's not too hot. It's not too cold. It's
sounds like it's higher on the list. Well, here's number 10. It's not actually possible to prove we're not living in a simulation. Okay. It may be easier to prove that we're living in a simulation than to prove we're not. Nuclear physicist Zoran Davidovich believes that cosmic rays, the most energetic particles known to man, would appear as a pixel-like chunks if we are within a simulation. Unended beams if we're in base reality. Meanwhile, New York U philosopher David Chalmers doubt it's possible to prove that we don't live in a matrix. We're not going to get proof that we're not in a simulation because any evidence that we get could be simulated. That's a deep kind of a.
It's hard to, yeah.
Kind of a deep one, really. So if we're trying to disprove it, that could be a simulation itself, trying to make us think it's disproved.
Go back and forth, man. If you find evidence, the simulation can create counter evidence. If you find counter evidence, it can create it can do whatever it wants.
And I think this goes back to your point, Dr. Wu, that you made earlier in terms of perspective, right? Like unless we're on the outside of that perspective, unless we're in the space where they're rolling those universe marbles, we can't really see. So we can't really tell how big or small we really are unless we're on the other side of that window.
Well said. Well said. You said it better than I did. Yours is a lot better than I. Yeah, unless you're out there, unless you're standing above the anthill and you know that these ants are going into the hill. They don't know. That's their universe. That's their universe. But you were standing over the anthill going, you guys are in an anthill. They don't know. Yeah.
Let's go to number 8. Quirks with computer code. Computer code. Here we go. Computer code. Simply not easy. Theoretical physicist James Gates claims he has identified what appears to be actual computer code embedded in the equation of string theory that describes the fundamental particles of our universe. He says he found error correcting codes. What make browser works. So why they in inquiry studying about quarks and electrons, and this one energetic synergistic red and the Medela Unveil were both on our channels, and I remember them talking about these codes within the codes. So I've kind of heard this through them about the codes are there in these theories. You got to look for the codes because they are there, but only certain people, once they learn how to use the matrix simulation, to be allowed to start seeing these codes. Now, I don't know if they're just talking.
No, there's
but
there's math. It's math. There's math. It's math and everything. You look at a shell. You take a shell. You take any kind of ocean shell and you cut it. Take a machine and cut it nice and smooth and flat. And you just see how it starts in the middle and spirals from the middle all the way around and around and around and around to the outside. If you do the math, it's going to be anomalies. If you run the math, it'll come up to a certain number. Everything in life has a specific number. And it goes back to ones and zeros. There's a number pattern in everything.
Well, what about this comment? The God code is supposed to be embedded in our DNA.
Right? Isn't it not? I mean, you can roll over to religion. It's there too. You could say God, or in the world of the Matrix conversation, you could say, some people will say AI, or some people will say the grand architect. We could use all those.
And it's funny that you bring up the Matrix, because it's funny when somebody says God code, I immediately think of the gold source code that we see at the very beginning of Revelations, the third film. At the beginning of each film, they have like this little animation that kind of zooms into the code. But at the beginning of Revolutions, it goes way down deeper into the code than we've ever seen before. And when you get that small down, like this kind of quantum physics realm of code here that we're talking about, that's when you have like these little yellow code explosions, and that's supposed to be the source code. So it's funny to me how like you can have these same arguments on both sides of the coin, whether it be science, religion, or simulation. We can kind of just flip it back and forth.
Yeah, I mean, all it does is, I mean, basically, it slaps in the face of the chaos concept. Where just things are just random, like every snowflake is different. Every snowflake is different, but when it comes down to a lot of physics with a lot of fauna, megafauna, everything, it's got a number. It's got, a certain chromosome, certain number of chromosomes. You got a certain number of this. You got a certain number of that. Consistent across the line. It's not just chaos. It's not just people. One guy with one arm, one guy with three arms. You know what I mean? There's a pretty steady consistency. There is a number involved in that. So, kind of what you were talking about. It's not crazy chaos.
Well, this might be crazy chaos. Number 7. I already see a picture of Donald Trump, but it's called number 7 is weird news. Some have proposed that recent unlike hoods, including Donald Trump's election, Brexit, the 2017 Oscars envelope mix-up, and that year's 25-point Super Bowl comeback could mean we're in a malfunctioning simulation, or whoever's pushing the buttons is screwing with us. Well, first of all, let me say something about that Oscar screw up about Moonlight. Now, this might sound like a conspiracy theory, but I think that was planned 100% all the way, just because the ratings for the Oscars has been going down every single year. Because of that mix-up of saying the wrong movie won, it was on the news the next day, everywhere. It was like, did it on purpose, because now people are going to be watching next year, which next year ratings went up because of that.
Okay.
I know it's a conspiracy on
no,
this.
It's the Super Bowl trick, where she lost it broke, and Janet Jackson's, and then next thing you know, everybody's watching the Super Bowl halftime show, waiting for something weird to happen. That's what you're saying with I can see that. I know what you're saying. Or, like I said, certain games that were just impossible, certain teams have done impossible numbers. Donald Trump was the president. If I laugh every time. I'm not putting the guy down. Again, it's just funny. He's a character. He's a character. So I watch it's like a reality TV show. It's like everything's become the reality TV show.
The Matrix said, hey, you guys needed some fun action, so I'm going to give you guys this guy.
Again, that's what they're kind of saying in this one. It's like some things are so over the top weird. It is. Like again, we go back to Sean Connery. I don't know if he knew this one or not. We'll let him know right now. Sean Connery died October 31st on the blue full moon. And if you look at the date of his death, we did the math here on the show. It comes out to 007.
Yes.
Oh, no.
Tom Murd gave us that map. 007. I was like, holy shit, that is so fucking cool.
Sean Connery dies, and the date is 007. What? You did it over? No, it comes out to 007. The Matrix.
I even created him an award for coming up with that. That was so awesome.
Well, he definitely earned it. He was by far the best Bond.
Yeah, thank you. We're not going to argue about that one, Eric, but yes, I agree with him. Eric's the other guy. What's his name, Eric? I don't know.
The new guy?
No. I say the three best is Sean Connery, Roger Moore, and I like the Remington Steele guy.
Oh yeah, I don't know his name.
I just said that
Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah, Pierce Bronson. I love his James Bond. I like him better than Daniel Craig. I just said I grew up on Roger Moore because his movies came out during when I was a kid. So I watched more Roger Moore versus Sean Connery just because I grew up with him. Like kids now are growing up with Daniel Craig. There's no wrong. You grew up with Sean Connery. Older than I am.
Yeah. So I'm happy we live in a Matrix because at least my favorite and obviously his favorite, James Bond, died when you do on the 31st. I'm not happy he died, but he died on the 31st of October on the blue moon. And if you do his death date, it comes out to 007. How appropriate that he got it. So I think that's cool.
Yeah.
Matrix, what the hell? Ferdinand, Prince Ferdinand or Duke Ferdinand. Dies, it gets assassinated in his car. World War I starts. You look at his license plate. It's the exact date at the end of the World War I. What? How did this happen? How did this number? How did Sean Connery die and it comes out to 007? These weird Matrix anomalies. It's kind of cool.
I do believe that Sean Connery was supposed to be on that Morpheus list. It would have not made any sense whatsoever.
Well, the thing is, he retired after he did that Gentleman movie because it was so bashed.
Distinguished Gentleman, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it was so bashed by all critics out there. He couldn't fuck it. They're gonna bash me. I just won't even do movies no more. And he did it. He stayed retired till he died.
He's one of my favorite actors. What the heck?
He said they're bashing me, not even understanding the movie. So I get it. But number 6 is going to be interesting because video games that look like real life. And of course, with every new generation game system, things look more real. Now, the PS5 that's out, and you got the new Xbox that's out. So, oh God, there's that Bob, your favorite guy. His word is in this name, Elon Musk. Elon Musk is a believer in Nick Boson's simulation hypothesis, which possess that if humanity can survive long enough to create technology capability of running convincing simulations of reality, it will create many such simulations, and therefore there will be lots of simulated realities and only one base reality. So essentially, it's probably more likely we live in a simulation right now. Further proof that we live in a matrix, according to Musk, is how cool video games are these days. In 2016, he explained 40 years ago we had Pong. Yeah, we had Pong 40 years ago. I remember that. I'm 47. That's how, I'm old. 2 rectangles and dot. Now, 40 years later, we have, 3D with millions of playing simultaneously, everybody in the world playing these games. If you assume any rate of improvement at all, then the games will become, Yeah, from reality. Even if the rate of advance drops by 1,000 from what it is now, it's given that we clear. Basically, what it's saying is every year, technology of games, the way the games are getting better and better and better. Basically, we went from Pong to what we see now in 40 years. Actually, I think 40 years was taking way too long to get better. 40 years ago, people thought Back to the Future was going to be real by the time, 20 years after that, we're going to have flying cars, and we don't. So,
it is real. We do have flying cars, and Biff did make it for president.
Wait, who raise your hand if you remember the rumor that the hoverboards were real?
Yeah, right. I remember. I thought it was like, hey, these are real. They run on magnetics. That's why it doesn't run over the water. Oh, so there are trains in Europe that are magnetic, and they run off on top of the rail. They run over them. They don't run they're opposing magnetics. So it does exist. You don't have it at your feet, but theoretically, if you had something that strong magnetics that reversed itself, But I thought it was real when it first came out. Yeah, and again, Biff made it for president, Eric. So remember, that's
true. Oh, well, remember, no, that's true. Remember, Biff was designed after Donald Trump. So
this is Biff. I'm guys. We're all playing. It's funning. I'm not putting down anybody in politics. We're having a good time, so I'm putting a disclaimer out there. We're all laughing, having a good time. It just when I saw him, I always think of Biff from I just think of Biff from the show, and I go, "This has got to be a simulation. There is no way they got Biff."
Richard Donner said he designed the character after Donald Trump. That's a fact.
Yeah, that's why. But it feels like a simulation. It feels like
one thing about number 6, though, this is what I was saying earlier about because there's his name there, Nick Bostrom's simulation hypothesis, because this article does it too. And whenever I see his name talking about his simulation hypothesis, they're only focused on the third proposition. Yes, that third proposition focuses on the probability or that the chances are we are already in a simulation, but there are 2 other propositions before that, both of which say that it is more likely that we are not. So I just wanted to put that out there because even the guy that they keep citing says it's more likely that we're not.
Okay, yeah. Well, I always remind people when they go too far with a simulation is, okay, can you stand still for 1 second? Because I'm going to kick you in the jimmy real hard. You tell me.
See if you can respawn after that.
I never heard of this. If you turn the PS4 upright, it looks like 2 towers. The PS5 upright looks like a single tower now in their place. So if you take the PS4 upright, it looks like 2 towers. Huh.
Type it in. Let's see this. Okay, this is it's more evidence for simulation. No, it's not. But let's see this. I gotta see this.
Right, images.
Let's see this. So the old one looks like the twin. I call them twin apples so we don't get in trouble. And the one looks like a single apple. Okay.
Okay.
More evidence to support that we're in a simulation mindset.
Let me get it bigger. But there's different PS4s now. Now they got this looking PS4.
So that one there has got the double.
PS4 vertical stand for PlayStation 4 with built-in cooling vents.
That might be a custom job.
Here it looks like the two towers one.
Okay. And then the new one looks like it's just a single block, I guess.
Oh, well, the PS5 is white. It's hold on. PS5. This is what the PS5 looks like.
Oh, it does look like the new one.
That's the PS5.
It's got the same kind of weird shape to it. Oh, I see what she's saying.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. Oh, I was thinking it'd be like the black monolith.
No, yeah. I just love when people see things differently that you don't even notice, even look at, like, okay, I can see that. Kind of like when I heard people say that if you take a motherboard out of a computer, if you kind of look at it, it almost looks like they're
It looks like the back of the turret looks like the planet or the flat Earth or whatever your cup of tea is. That's what it looks like. The parts and pieces of it. Like here's this and here's the motherboard for. Yeah, it does look like that, like a matrix. Yeah, it actually does. Well, I looked at it. I was like, yeah, it does. Well, I mean, it's a coincidence, or it's just we are one big ass video game.
Well, let's go number 5. Okay.
Let's go.
Climate change. How convenient. Our civilization is just constantly set up to cause environmental child, suggesting we could be an ancestor simulation created in hopes that we show our creators how to solve an energy crisis. The theory overlaps slightly with the aliens as simulation queries theories above. If we found an innovation salvation to a climate crisis, ETs might be returned to crib the resolve. So basically, when we have these crises, they're seeing how us humans can actually solve the problem to fix the climate.
So this one's more of the UFO. This is more of aliens as the architects, and we are just it's a game. We're gonna have to pass the test.
Now that's the thing. For me, looking at this, I'm thinking more like, okay, if we're talking about an alien technology that has the ability to convince us all that we're not living in a situation in a simulation, I'd imagine that our climate change problems would not be a big hurdle for them technologically. Like, I feel like if you can do that, then you should be able to figure out how to lower gas house emissions.
Easily with a touch of a button.
right. Like, we got it. Clean the water. We got it.
One touch of a button, clean. One program, clean. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, it's a 50-50 on both sides. Again, if they can do it, they can do it. If they don't, they can don't.
Right. They either have the technology or they don't. Like they're either super AI smart or they're not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's go to number 4. Oh, Bob, this is your word. DNA. DNA contains a computer virus. Let's see this. Oh, University of Washington, Bob. That's where you got your diploma. In 2017, multidisciplinary group of researchers at the University of Washington, that's where Bob got his graduation, proved that they can embed malicious computer codes into physical strands of DNA, which kind of what one of our people in the chat that said that God is actually in our DNA that's in the blood. Their aim was to show that computers working in gene sequences were vulnerable to attack, but they may also have and eventually revealed that we perceived to be biological reality was in fact computer code all along.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, we've talked about we've got so many chromosomes, there's a number down the line. So carbon 12, the whole spill. Yeah.
Have you guys seen the second Tron Legacy?
Yes, I've seen it. It's been a long time, but I've seen it.
Yeah, long time. I saw the first one, but tell us a little bit about it. What you got?
Well, so basically, it was funny because I was thinking about the original Tron when you guys were talking about CGI before, because 82, that's actually Disney, and they were using early CGI. There was a lot of airbrushing in there. They were cheating a little bit.
No, we did a show on the basis of Tron that we're giving. That Matrix was previewed way before the Matrix movies. We mentioned Tron. We mentioned Battlestar Galactica, Buck Rogers with AI. So yeah, we talk about Tron big time on the show.
I totally agree. If there's a prequel to the Matrix, it is Tron. But right. So in Legacy, you've got these ISOs, right? These beings that just manifested within the machine that the creator did not create, but he was able to use fix or repair their DNA, basically, because it was manifested in the system he created. He could then go in and look into this DNA, or what we're talking about, God code, and reprogram it to heal them. And basically his plan was to take that information and be able to do it within our DNA, but he needed it to be in the program form for him to understand it before he could fix it for us, if that makes sense.
No, it yeah, because I remember the creator was couldn't be everywhere, so he created himself to help.
Clue, badass clue.
To help him.
Oh, I got it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's where the Yeshua, the Jesus concept comes in, or Neo, the one.
Right. Yep.
Okay. Okay. That's very good. Yeah, you would have to insert yourself into the program.
Very topical. Inserting malicious code into our DNA. I know a video game about New York, and I might see after that. Who knows?
It goes back to Tron. That literally goes back to the concept of Tron before the Matrix. Yeah, insert yourself into the game. Yeah, smart, man. It does have a lot of answers for a lot of different concepts and philosophies. Yeah, wow.
Yeah. Tron is living within the computers. I mean, they took a live body and moved them into the computer world.
Tron has a concept of where we joke about it's a video game, where you're watching the show and you're like, it's a video. I'm looking at a video game. As in the Matrix, it's reality video game. You're in it physically. Like, again, you get punched in the face, they get shot, they're dead. So it's the same thing, but it's one is flesh and blood.
Tron was way ahead of his time. I mean, Tron
absolutely.
Tron does not get the credit that it really deserves. It goes back in 1982. I mean, just you can watch it now, and the special effects aren't really that bad. It's still good looking at it now.
It's good. It's still good. There's nothing bad about it.
Hold on. Gypsy Road, type your DNA into a search engine. You'll not be sorry. So type in DNA.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me get a Google up here. Let me stop this. Let's see what he's talking about. Let me share screen. Let me go back to the PS5, but I'll just I'll go here, go off. So he said type in DNA. DNA.
Okay.
I mean, I see. Type in DNA. Yeah. Okay. So type in YAH. Okay. Like we're doing live experiments on
like Yahweh,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh.
Scientists confirm a new DNA structure inside. Am I supposed to look at the images or the story?
Oh. Yahweh. Yah DNA. Oh.
Tron video game was awesome. Dude, Tron fucking video game was awesome. Shooting all those computer spiders. Dude, I loved it, man. Now here's the images. Now am I supposed to look at the images, I wonder?
Oh, I bet you it's gonna have yeah. I see what they're doing. Okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I see what that's weird. Well, there's no name for God, but then they say Yahweh. Yah. Or Yah. Okay.
I tell you, we got.
Well, they're doing God in your DNA, God in the DNA. That's a whole different new concept. That's interesting. That's really interesting.
Might have to now. Yeah, I think if you have Disney, I think it's on Disney Plus.
Yeah, you got to watch it. If you're a fan of the Matrix, you got to watch Tron first.
It stars one of the best acters. What's his name?
Jeff Bridges.
Jeff Bridges.
Which is, and canonically, he obviously the Big Lebowski. Lebowski. Think about Big Lebowski, the Trinity of Three. I'm a dudist. I don't know if you guys. I'm a dudist priest. I love being a dudist. I'm a big time dudist. And then of course he was also in a show, Eric, where he was an alien, an extraterrestrial.
Starman, yeah.
Starman. Yeah, so it's ironic that he's in all of these iconic kind of Matrixy shows.
He was also in Iron Man, where he actually put on the evil Iron Man suit to fight Iron Man in a way.
Okay. Well, I'm talking about his early stuff, all the way up until before this 2016 mark. But he was like in all these old, strange films, just kind of perfect, like the perfect ones, all the way up. Kind of fits what's going on now.
Well, I still Starman does not get the credit that it deserves.
Another good one. Yeah.
He never
Another-
gets the credit it deserves.
Of course, Jeff Bridges is in it. Here
Let's go to number 3 here.
we go. We're getting down to the nitty gritty.
Electrons that can't make up their minds. Oh, okay. In physics, famous double slit experiment. Electrons are fired at a photosensitive screen through slits in a copper plate, usually producing an interference pattern that indicates wave-like behavior. But when the same experiment is conducted under observation, electrons behave like particles, not waves, and there's no interference patterns. Some have taken this to mean our simulation is conserving its resources and rendering certain things only when it knows we're looking at them.
Yeah.
Wow. I never heard this one.
Well, it's a double split experiment. If there's if an observer, particles will act different when an observer is there. That's the theory behind it. So when an observer is there, the particles will act completely different. Once there's no observer, then the particles will act completely different, a different direction. Depends if somebody's there or not. The actual observer, that's weird. That's the whole concept of if a tree fell in a forest, did the tree actually fall? Is there even a tree? You know what I mean? Is there even a forest if there's nobody there?
Here's some images. Double slit experiment. Light source, metal sheet, screen.
Yeah. Based off the observer. Wrong. The famous double split experiment. Pretty soon we'll be doing Schrodinger's cat. Cat in the box. Is it live or is it dead?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, research. This is kind of
fun. Well, that's the whole argument for. We in the Matrix. If there's an observer, things are organized and it exists. If we're not there, does it cease to exist? That's basically what the argument is. Starman. Yeah.
Carla?
Really.
Carla, are you younger than us? You never seen Tron or Starman? Unless you're younger, I can understand that. But if you're my age, in the 40s, you should have seen both.
Well, it depends on what country you live in, too. Now, not everybody in Europe has watched it.
I'm sorry. She lives in the UK like you do.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It depends.
They get.
Because I'm over here in the UK, and I've talked to people about I'm a nerd. I'm an American nerd. So when I talk to English nerds, they've seen things that I haven't seen. They got to teach me some shit. And then I've seen things they haven't seen. I got to teach them some stuff.
Oh.
Come back. Nerds unite, guys. That's the whole idea of these shows. We unite. We're nerds. Unite.
Number 2 looks interesting. Missing aliens. There's a picture of E.T. Wow. Let's see what this says. Missing aliens. We spent billions sending probes through outer space and should probably have found evidence of ET by now, right? Not so.
Yeah.
Aliens would likely be far more technology advanced than we are. The thinking goes, so the fact that we haven't located them suggests that we live in a simulation. They figure out how to escape from them. Or maybe the computer we're in only has enough RAM to simulate one planetary civilization at a time. Well, first of all, if the universe is ongoing, yes, it's very possible we haven't reached simulation out in outer space, even in the first place. If it's ongoing like they say it is, who says where the next planet with life is at?
Infinity. Yeah.
No,
so
and
what
I
do you
think
think?
Combine a lot of different stuff that we were talking about earlier. When you're talking about the hotspot, for example, we were just talking about how special we are to be in this hotspot. So for another more advanced alien civilization, well, they got to have their version of a hotspot. So, that doesn't mean it's going to be anywhere within our probe's reach so far, especially if you're going to talk about the universe potentially being infinite. That's a lot of ground to cover. And that's not even getting into the, multiverse theories and stuff like that,
Yeah. Oh, God, you go so many different directions. You got interdimensional, multiverse. I'm trying to tell people now that, nobody knows about this, which is weird. I had just found out in 1994, scientists, and it just seems they're not teaching it. I don't know, but this is the consensus across the board, that we are actually not from the Milky Way. And I know a lot of you remember people scratching your head. You're like, what? What do you mean? No, it's not a conspiracy theory. This is the fact. This is not a fact. Well, this is what the narrative fact is. That remember, we're from a dwarf. We're from Sagittarius dwarf galaxy that now is entering into, it's dipping, like jumping into the water into the Milky Way galaxy. And also the Canis Major galaxy is another ring that's going in, dipping into the Milky Way galaxy. And I'm going, wow. And so when you see the NASA symbol and you see that circle in NASA symbol with a ball in it, that's simulating the Sagittarius dwarf galaxy, the one we're supposed to be in the debris field of, dipping into the Milky Way. And I go, whoa. So this is the dude. Look up the information, and the information is there. Look it up. Look up Sagittarius dwarf galaxy, and they're classifying us now in that one. We're dipping into the Milky Way, so we're not. We're in a merry-go-round, or we're in a Ferris wheel, and we're just in the Ferris wheel going into and through the Milky Way.
Well, the good news for us is that would mean that we're on like the outside of the wheel and not close to the supermassive black hole.
Right. Yeah. And well, the thing is, there are supposedly in the center of our galaxy, there's two black holes that merged, and now it's grinding the two universes together, and we're melding into it. Again, this is not me just saying, this is what I read in the science papers. It just came out. I was like, wow. Apparently they discovered this in 1994. I go, I didn't know this. This new idea that scientists are now saying. Well, this is really weird. Two separate universes, three separate universes, all clinging together right now in a big ass, garbage disposal.
Are we ready for number one?
Number one.
Now, when I find these articles, I don't actually technically read it because I want everything on the show to be real, like reading it for the first time. But of course, I saw what was number one, and I was like, really? This is number one? I thought it'd be too crazy for articles to even put this name number one. So, Bob, do you have a guess what number one is?
At this point, we've covered a lot of cool shit. I don't know.
Well, this title is actually talked about on the Black Sheep channel show today earlier. Number one is actually the Mandela effect.
Oh no!
I did not think they would have put this number one. I was like, really? Yeah. Mandela effect. Now, of course, everybody knows me in the chat. Mandela effect name is stupid. It's moronic. I call it the paranormal effect. Okay, I don't like the name Mandela effect. I think it's stupid. But that's I
call it seeing continuity errors.
Now, this is what.
No, I totally agree with both you guys. Like for me personally, talking about our age, like I'm old enough to remember when Mandela got out of prison. Like I remember that happened.
Yeah.
Now, see what he said. What our guest said. He remembers him getting out of prison, basically, becoming like prime minister. That was my point. What I said in the past, that when people say they remember him dying, I say bull fucking shit. 95% of people are lying on this one, because you're going to tell me you remember a guy named Nelson Mandela, who wasn't even prime minister, from Africa, dying? Right. Like, people, come on. Now, there might be 5% that, for whatever reason, had an update or a simulation on this, but other people are just jumping on the bandwagon because, come on, man, I didn't give a shit about fucking Africa when I was in my teens. Nobody did. And we're gonna
thing, like you said, people are
Nelson Mandela. Come on, he wasn't prime minister yet, dude. He wasn't popular until really when his rugby football team won the Olympics, and they made a movie about him.
Well, I do remember it though.
But I'm saying there's a few that might have the upload. But I'm saying,
I remember. I don't remember. There's no. I don't think he died. I think it's a CIA propaganda thing. But I do remember I remember the news bringing it up.
Yeah, but Bob,
It was like a film inside the prison. He died in the prison, and I remember him dying from tuberculosis.
You and I did a whole show on his timeline when he got arrested, on where they had to hit him away for 2 years because he had an operation and they were trying to kill him. And 2 years is when they said he died. So we did a whole timeline on this, so we don't have to repeat that.
Yeah.
This is what it says. Some people claim to remember TV coverage of Nelson Mandela's death in 1980s, even though he actually died in 2013. And I say 95% of people are just bandwagons who said he did die.
I believe that.
There is a few real, but most people are fake on this one. The Mandela effect is therefore supposedly proof that whoever is in charge of our simulation is changing the past. Now, that theory I'm fine with.
Yeah.
Or alternatively, this evidence of a parallel universe, which I'm fine with, and some individual have crossed from one universe in which Mandela died in the 80s in ours, who lived at the age of 95. Additional examples of this phenomenon include some remembering the name of Bearstein. I'm not gonna get it. The 1990 film called Shazam, blah blah blah. Now, fuck the. I don't want to get into Bearstein and all that stuff crap, but I've heard that theory. We've all heard a theory about parallel universes, simulation, that there's a glitch, and with that glitch, we got some memory changes that some people pick up on, some people don't pick up on. You know, it's that I could get behind, but it was weird that Mandela effect was number one on this list. I thought that was like,
I think that's the propaganda one. That's the one that the good old fashioned intelligence department got ahead of it before anybody even started having any kind of like, hey, I got a weird ass memory. They own it. They in charge it. They put the name on it. They had a funeral. I remember the funeral for him. I remember it was quick, under 5 minutes. It was like a quick flash on the TV. There was no details. They had a picture of it wasn't even like his funeral. It was in the prison. So it was like nothing. That's why I didn't believe it was true. I was like, this is vague.
You also got to remember these true conspiracy theories on certain ones where sometimes a person's life is in danger, and there's known through history that they will fake somebody's death on purpose so people stop attacking because they think he's already dead.
Yeah, the Elvis theory.
There could have been a leak about faking his death on purpose to keep people not trying to kill him.
Yeah.
But people thinking that he did die, I don't know. I can't comprehend that. I can't.
There's more of the fact that there's other things that have done. It's the glitch. We joke about, now he'll know exactly what I'm talking about, like seeing the black cat twice. You know what I'm saying? Seeing that black cat.
Yeah. And right, so that's explained as when the system is changing something, which is what I like about like your CIA reference with this specifically.
Yeah, it's the black cat, and people don't know what he could probably explain it better than me. Can you explain to them what the black cat seeing it twice means, so everyone understands?
Hold on, I'm gonna right now. Give me 1 second here.
Yeah. The glitch.
Right.
Neo.
Right. This is the original Matrix movie right after they see the Oracle. And Neo says, whoa. Of course. Keanu Reeves says, whoa. Deja vu. And then everybody's like on alert. They're like, wait, what you just say? You know, Cypher says, what happened? And then Neo says, a black cat went past us. And then another cat that looked just like it. And then Trinity says, how much like it? Was it the same cat? And he says, well, it might have been, I'm not sure. And then, Tank in the real world says, I'm stuck there. The agents are coming, and all that kind of stuff. So Trinity says deja vu is usually a glitch in the Matrix. It happens when they change something. So we know, the audience knows, that at that point, the agents have blocked off the building that they're in. But before, the building had windows. So what they changed was they bricked up all the windows so that the Nebuchadnezzar crew had no escape. Right. But what I like about that is we're always kind of like trying to figure out, well, what is deja vu? We know what this feeling feels like, but we can't explain it scientifically. And like the Oracle explaining, vampires and werewolves being glitches in the Matrix. Well, when you see that black cat, that means that it's not an exile. It's the system. It's the active system. It's the agents changing something. And chances are they're coming for you.
Yeah, that's my thank you. I don't need to say a damn word. That's my concept. That's my answer for whatever this Mandela effect is. That's the answer. It's a glitch in the Matrix. And Either
But it
you're
was
there
by design.
by design, yeah. And now nobody else saw it but Neo. And now I'm sure if they would have looked down, they would have saw it, but they didn't see it. Neo saw it. So they're all looking. Now, the cool thing is that they didn't just fucking say, Neo, you're crazy. Shut the fuck up. Let's get back upstairs. They took it seriously. Well, they even knew what you saw. What? Now, was it the same cat? Well, it looked no, was it the same cat? They knew something was happening. So even though they didn't see it, they were looking the other direction. Go back to the split whatever experiment. Yeah, they took it seriously. So, some things I take seriously when people say, hey, I'll call it the black cat thing. I saw the fucking black cat. I've got a deja vu. I'm just stop and say, excuse me, now what did you see? Tell me exactly. Again, it might be a glitch, and that's important to know. That's some of the things
I love about talking Matrix with people, because as many times, I cannot count how many times I've seen all three of those movies in the last 20 years, right? But what you just said is something that I'm sure people notice, but in that moment, it's like kind of overlooked. Like, right, okay, they're all asking Neo, what did you see? But you just said it. Neo was the only one who saw it, and he's the chosen one. You see what I mean? Yeah. So he saw the deja vu cat twice. Now, yes, we know from experience they're saying, okay, other people have seen deja vu cat. That's why we know what it is. But in that moment, he was the one that was alerted by it. It caught his attention because he's special.
Yeah. And he was supposed to see it. He was looking at that, right? They were all looking up. Now,
they're all going up the stairs. No one's the wiser. He was the only one who turned his head and looked in that moment.
Yeah, only one, for no reason. There was no reason for him if I'm following a bunch of people upstairs and it's in a spooky place, I'm looking at ass going, I'm following him upstairs.
Especially Carrie-Ann Moss.
Exactly. I'm not meandering around, just kind of like, I'm not doing this. He was supposed to look around. He saw it because he was supposed to see it. Everything happened exactly when it's supposed to happen for him, the next following set of events to happen. It worked out, let's put it that way. Not for some, but it worked out for most, So I like how you explain it too. It's perfect. Perfect combo. That was nice. So there's the Mandela effect. You guys want to call it that. That's kind of how I see it, like that. Yeah. Very cool, man. I love the Matrix concept. It's a language.
It makes you think.
Understand.
Really think.
What you guys are saying is one of the major motivations behind why I started that channel. To me, I feel like when you talk Matrix, when you go over what happened in the movies and theorize on your own and define what it means to yourself and replay what happened and go through the lore, it's literally like playing chess. It's like practice for this type of critical thinking and analytical thought. And somebody in the comments said something that they agree a lot of the Mandelas I've experienced are personal. And that's what I believe one of the strongest or greatest lessons out of the Matrix trilogy is you deciding what you saw, you figuring out what you believe, coming to your own conclusion based on the information.
That's how I've been saying it. That's exactly what I've been saying from the movie. Very good. That's why it's good having you on here. It's personal. It's personal. It was personal to him. He saw it. It was personal, but it helped everyone else out. Well, some, but it helped some people out.
Right, because Cypher was in on it, but
yeah. Of course.
Sorry, when it comes to Matrix, I'm going to accidentally spoil it.
Yeah. I'm assuming you guys seen it, so spoiler alerts will come that way. Yeah. Okay, before we get too far, Eric, I gotta get this out of the way for people to understand. Can you please explain to the audience the woman in red? Can you get that one out of the way? Do you remember the woman?
You're asking me to explain the woman in red?
Yeah, can you explain to people the woman in red? That's one of the questions someone had because they were always confused on, did you see the woman in red? No, people get confused by that. Now, everyone's coming. Yeah, you go ahead and explain it.
Now that you said that, I get it more. So the lady in red does not exist in the Matrix. She exists in a construct. Okay, so what the constructs are, and that's one of the things I loved about the Matrix Online video game, is that they were like separate constructs that were outside of the Matrix world. So that kind of really put it in perspective. But what a construct is like a fake simulation, or how can I word this? Right. If you're playing an online game, right, where you're playing in the online environment with all your friends around the world. Well, when you're playing in one player mode, you're not necessarily connected to the Matrix. You can play, right, without being connected online. You can't play with your friends because you're not playing with any internet access. That's what the constructs were. That was them having a fake version of the Matrix on their ship that wasn't connected to the Matrix. That's where the Lady in Red program existed, only in the construct. So you're not going to run into her in the Matrix. That was just a training program. So outside of the Nebuchadnezzar or one of the Zion fleet ships that has a copy of Mouse's program, that's the only place that you're going to see the Lady in Red is in a training construct, not inside the Matrix. So she doesn't exactly exist inside the Matrix.
Cool, yeah, because a lot of people were confused by that, dude. I mean, you get it, so you don't think about it. You're like, oh,
right.
Well,
No,
people,
that's why I was like, wait, I could explain the question, but no, I get what they were.
Yeah. People are like, I don't understand that because there was a big emphasis on the Lady in Red, and there's a whole myth. Was she the Freemasonry? She's the okay. Well, slow it down now. Let's go back to the movie. There's a reason why she was there, and the way you put it is, it wasn't open to the public. It was just the two of them, and it was a simulation that they were running. So she's a construct specifically for their game. So that's where she was. And she, and because he looked at her to continue, because he caught her, they caught each other. It was like, whoa. He turned around and there's a pistol in his face.
And what's great about that, because since you're talking about like the different layers, right? So when they put together that scene, okay, they used a whole bunch of twins as actors. Like the actors were real world twins, so that there'd be a lot of doubles in there. Like if you really look, there's a lot of the same people, and I think some of them were like CGI copied, but mostly there were actual twins in that scene. And the point was that because it was created by Mouse, he had to take shortcuts to fill the population. But the woman in red is unique; she doesn't have a twin, and that's one of the things that make her stand out, other than the complete red dress, as you mentioned. Then it turns into an agent in a blink of an eye, which is the lesson that an agent can take over anyone in the Matrix. So anyone who's still connected is potentially dangerous.
Nice. Thank you. That was perfect, man. Damn, you know your shit.
Yeah, man, I love this Matrix stuff. Like that's the thing. Like when I started putting together the channel, I was trying to think of, well, what information can I share with people? And I'm like, well, I know a lot about the Matrix. And then, it's been a little bit over a year. So you got to think, I've already been like totally geeked out on Matrix. And now I've spent the last year and a half doing nothing but watching it and reading it and interacting with other fans and hearing other fan theories. And that was the idea, was to neo-matrixology literally means new study of the Matrix. So the idea was to look at it with fresh eyes, but through the collective. So it's not just my experience, but I want to get a feel for your experience and take input and see what other people picked up. Like you said, somebody made something about a Mason reference, and this happens all the time. Like there's so much content, there are so many different layers that people will pick up on things that aren't necessarily there.
Yeah,
that's the fun of it. That's the whole point, is that it's so open to interpretation that you can actually, like, it literally is a choose your own adventure movie. That's what I love about it. I don't know that any other movie allows you to see what you want to see the way that film does.
It's your camp. It's exactly your camp. I can see Tomacon's got a whole listener in Revelations 17:4. There's a whole thing on there on it. And that's his message. That's what he gets. It's a conversation started from, I love this movie. They even talking about it just brings up everything. Passively at the same time, passively brings up everything. See, it's at Revelation 17:4, and a woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand full of abominations and filthiness of it. Wow.
Yeah.
There we go.
Black Sheep wrote, red and blue is key we hit in politics. It's the color of the political parties. Even Sparta versus Athens, it's red and blue. It's two of the three colors we see.
Wow. Yeah. Wow.
And then purple color exists outside our eyes' color perception. We never see true purple.
Very good. I got one last important question. I'm done with questions. And he's gonna, I don't know, he'll have the answer. Probably gonna have the answer or not. Here we go. You ready for this one? Not a question either. It's okay. So I'm gonna say the brother, the Wachowski brothers. Here we go. Okay. The Wachowski brothers. I read this. This is why I'm asking. I prepped before shows. The Wachowski brothers. They asked them which pill would they take. And I wrote it down here because I didn't even. Okay. I wrote it down. Which pill would they take if they were given the option? Now,
they said blue.
They would say, you got it. Yeah, they take the blue. What would you think?
That's what they said in the interview. Yeah.
Okay, now give us why would you think they take the blue and not the red? What's with that?
Well,
what do you think?
Here's what I love about the Wachowskis in their art. I feel that there is a level of rebelliousness and also a level of honesty, right? And you got to think like, okay, they made this really cool movie for us, and it might be one of the last such movies that will be made like that. You know, the industry is very different than it was in '99 in terms of, you see how things are. Everything's repackaged. It's the same thing over and over again, right? Yeah. Very rarely we're taking chances on new stuff. But at the time, they were allowed to really kind of do this big project that still kind of had its middle finger to corporations, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we got to be real. They got paid.
Yeah.
They made a boatload of money for those movies. So
hell yes.
Damn right we'll take the blue pill.
There's an answer. Yes.
What did Cypher say when he's sitting with Agent Smith and he's like, I want to be somebody important, like an actor.
You're right about movies those days and nowadays, because people don't realize that the Matrix movies are all rated R, all three of them.
Right? Yeah. Even though the second one's the only one that has nudity, but
yeah, I know. If they were made today, they would be PG-13. They would not allow it to be R, because now it's more about the money versus letting the art, because they didn't know what they had in the Matrix. That's why they allowed it to be rated R. And now, of course, you made it rated R, you have to make the rest rated R. Because now there was a movie in the past that they wanted to make more money, where they took a movie that was rated R and they made it PG-13, and they fucked up the whole movie. Now, I'm sure a lot of people might not remember this. Conan the Barbarian was rated R because of the blood, sex, everything that was in it. Then they made Conan the Destroyer. They made that PG-13 because they thought, hey, this movie's popular. We're gonna make it PG-13 to get more people to watch it. And that movie bombed. It was a joke. It was an embarrassment to the franchise.
Yeah, it was.
If the Matrix was done now, say they even did make the first one rated R, they would have made sure the second and third are PG-13. So it's going to be hard to know if we're ever going to get that. Now Matrix 4, I'm curious what that's going to be. Is it going to be R like the other three? Or are they going to?
I'm going to tell you right now, it's absolutely going to be rated R. And the reason why I say that is because when you look at the crews, right? Like there's, the big crossover theory that Neo is John Wick, right?
Rated R.
I believe that there's good reason for people to make that comparison, other than the fact that Keanu Reeves is the star in both. That's the obvious reason. The not so obvious reason is that the stunt team, most of the production crew from the John Wick series, including the writer-director Chad Stahelski, all came from the Matrix. They were all guys who worked on the Matrix. And Chad Stahelski was actually a stunt guy for Neo. Like the guy who wrote John Wick played a stunt double for Neo. So there's like all this overlapping staff. So half of the Sense8 cast, which was a Wachowski project for Netflix, are actors in The Matrix 4. So between half of the cast coming over from Sense8, and there was a lot of sexual stuff in that, and all the action from the rated R John Wick, I'm going to go ahead and guess that Matrix 4 is going to be rated R.
Yeah, they have to.
It's gotta be, man. I mean, kids will sneak in. Come on. And besides, they'll just rent it anywhere. They'll go straight to. Yeah.
Well, okay, right. And that's the other thing. Right now, it sounds like they're gonna do this whole HBO Max theatrical release. So for the first month, you can go see it in a theater or see it on HBO Max. So there you go. If you have HBO Max and you're under 18,
well, basically, HBO Max kind of put the nail in the coffin for the movie theaters. I mean, they can't survive like that.
I like the idea of what's going on right now, because I am a nerd and I want to eventually get a loan and get some money, and I want to open up a drive-in. I want to bring back the drive-ins so everyone can sit in their car. I want to watch The Matrix 4 on a drive-in.
The thing is, why would you even need to go to the drive-in if you could watch it on a streaming service at the same time? Even that.
I'm gonna have fun stuff. I'm gonna have like weights in the front and places to hang out and play. I'm gonna have like maybe a discoteca in the back. It's gonna be badass.
Speaking of, that is the plan. We're gonna have the project matriculated is a Matrix 4 release party, which we were talking about doing it. We were going to do it before we heard about the HBO Max release, but the venue that we were going to have the party at, it already has like it actually has two. It has like a 100-foot video wall on one side and a 40-foot video wall on the other side. So now that it's on a streaming service, instead of going to the movie theater and having the after party after, we could just have it all in one spot. So I got to play devil's advocate. I'm concerned what the numbers might mean with them not having it just in movies, but I'm excited to be able to stream The Matrix 4 on a 40-foot video wall.
It's a weird twist. You like Wonder Woman 84 is actually coming on HBO Max and on the 25th, December 25th. But in the long term,
I hear you. It's got some serious ramifications potentially.
Well, what people don't realize, Matrix is a big production movie. There's a lot of money to make this kind of a movie. Okay, so if you start taking away most of the movie theaters, right now, there's a certain amount of money that a movie can make. That's why you make it, to make a profit. I hate to say it, to make a profit. Right. Yep. Now, you're not going to make that profit on a streaming service. It's not like you're going to put a Matrix 4 on the streaming service and you're going to gain 30 million subscribers because they'll just unsubscribe. Now, when you take it off the movie screen, you're putting up to $1 billion out of your pocket. Now, if they don't make that $1 billion, where is the money going to come from to make these big, high production movies? It's gonna have a ripple effect where a lot of your smaller movies, our only reason they're getting made is because of your bigger movies.
Right.
You take that away, it's like a college, Huskies. You take away the Huskies, all those other sports that nobody watches, the only reason they have is because the money they make from the Huskies. You take the Huskies football team, all of your other sports, or a lot of your other sports programs are gone. A lot of your entertainment movies, they're gone.
Yeah. Yeah, I
think another side of the coin that nobody's really talking about is it's going to open up the green light for bootleggers.
Yes.
Big time.
The Napster thing, be back.
That crushed the music industry.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did. Now they have to go out and actually, they went out and started going live, which kind of had its flip of a coin where now they had to go out and start performing again out of the studio and doing live. A lot of these old bands are out there kicking ass and doing live shows again, which is kind of cool. But, they were stealing it. Everyone was just stealing it for free. It's online. You just take the stuff. Movies, they just download it now.
Well, you can have like up to 5 accounts on certain streaming services, right? You give everybody. But if you get rid of theaters and all that, that's going to be such a tighter window now. What they're probably going to do next is, we can't let you give 5 out. You can only watch on 5 different devices.
Yeah, they do that now.
IP at your house. Where
you do that now.
Leave your IP from your house, you leave your modem. You're not, right now, like Disney, you can get up to 10 people. But eventually, if that money is going to be disappearing because of theaters, they don't want to lose money off of you because they know you're giving it to 5 other people. They're going to make it where you can only watch it from one device router from your house.
That's why I was surprised when they said it was just the regular monthly subscription. When they said HBO Max, I just naturally assumed that there would be, a rental fee or whatever for that new movie.
Yeah.
Well, I think HBO learned, because I know people. I'm sorry we're getting nerdy, because Disney Plus failed. Okay, they had a movie called Mulan, right?
Oh, that's
going to play at the theater. So what they did was, instead of just dropping on their streaming service, you had to pay a $30 extra to be able to watch it. But get this now. So your Disney Plus, right? You pay your $30, and then of course it disappears off your streaming after a month. Now, and then Disney decided where people could rent it and buy it for $20, $30. So now, if you're a Disney Plus person, pay $30 to watch it on Disney Plus, you don't get to own it. But if you bought it through, I don't know, Google Movies somewhere, where you paid the $30, you got to own it. So they fucked that whole thing up. So HBO is like, we're not going to pay extra because what happened to them. I don't know. It's going to be 2020. It's going to be such a weird, and 2021 is going to be such a weird 2 years. We don't know what's going to happen. I'm going
to tell you right now, here in England, somebody got smart as fuck. And I'm telling you guys the truth. They shut down all the movie theaters. There's nobody watching no movies, however they are. They are starting to open. I'm not joking. I just drove by it today outside the mall. They have an outdoor movie, big, but they have a drive-in movie. They have a big old huge thing, and there was lines of cars going down the fucking road. I said, no way. Britain's opening up drive-in movies, and it's a success.
It is in a way, but you can only put so many cars in a spot where
like, wow.
People walking in. You can put maybe like 400 people in one screen, where a drive you can only maybe put 100 cars. That's where
they're walking around with like refreshments and food. They're selling them the car. I was like, this is crazy, man. And they're closing all the drive-ins in the United States, and here's England opening up drive-ins, man. I want to do this. This is smart again. Watch a Matrix 4 on a big ass screen in the car.
It's weird. It's gonna be weird. I was I'm an A-list member for AMC, so my wife paid a subscription, and we used to go to the theaters every single Friday because we paid for that service. It was great. Yeah. Well, it's nice to get out of the house and even the drive-in, going to the theater. I just don't want that to end. I want to be able to get out.
I love movies.
Get some popcorn that's gonna give us a heart attack and die with all that butter and popcorn. It's gonna kill us. But
I just want them to play the Pink Panther cartoon before the movie started to drive-in. I want them to bring that back. When I have a big drive-in movie theater, when I own one, I'm gonna play Pink Panther at the beginning.
But beyond that, I'm gonna let Neo Matrixology say some last things. Then I gotta eventually shut down the show. Bob's son is actually here somewhere, so he's here from the military. So before we leave, Neo Matrixology, you want to say anything about your channel or anything before we go?
Yeah, no, time flies when you're having fun. I didn't even realize we were talking for so long, but I just want to thank you guys again for having me. And yeah, I'm here in the YouTube Matrix with you guys. The Neo Matrixology is the channel, the Instagram, the Twitter page. It's all the same name. And yeah, come check me out. I try to get back to everybody and comment to everybody who comments and stuff like that. So
yeah. Hey Bob, maybe one day we'll get the Matrix Unveiled to come back on. We'll have a big, huge, and Statistic Red, and we'll just have one big, huge Matrix.
Shit, that'd be badass. That'd be badass. Guys, you guys can hear he's knowledgeable, man. I was asking him what they considered hard questions for him. It was like, oh yeah, no problem. So he knows his shit, obviously. So you guys, the questions I asked were supposed to be hard, but it wasn't hard for him, obviously. And even had the philosophical answer for each and every one of them, the whole damn context. So go to his channel, man. You're in the Matrix.
So beyond that, we'll be back on Monday, of course. Now, for now, because your son's down, the show is going to be at 1 p.m. Pacific time. I moved it up from 11 to 1 because there's this. My office here is also a bedroom. I know you can't tell. I know you can't see that bed, but his son is going to be sleeping in that desert that you see behind me. So
is that Tatooine?
What's that?
I said, is that Tatooine?
I don't know what the fuck desert that is.
Looks like it.
I just like the picture and I just took it. I don't know what desert that is.
I think it is. It looks like it. You got 2 suns there. 2 moons, 2 suns. Yeah. It's the other one's hidden.
So beyond that, guys, you're an awesome person. I love having you on. This is better than I thought it was going to be. You're just an awesome person. So
I appreciate it. And like I said, thanks for having me. And yeah, anytime there's a Matrix conversation to be had, I'm game.
Oh, well, definitely. I'm definitely going to get a hold of Statistic Red and trying to get all of us on because I think we'll shut down the whole internet on that show.
Easily.
Crash the system.
Very easily.
Hack the planet.
So beyond that, guys, I'm going to end this show, and I'll see everybody Monday.